What up, guys? How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Man, oh man, I don't know. I told you guys, every time I have to make a video, something crazy will be happening. Today, we're talking about the biggest story that happened this past week at the Oscars. Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. Now, if you've been living under a rock like me, I'm only catching up. Today is like a Thursday for me that I'm making this video. So let's get into it. Let's see what happened.
The hardest job tonight, Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
See, if we pause right there, you think everything ended well. It's a funny joke, you know. Come on, it's a comedian. Let's keep going.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
Right. Man. Where do we even begin with this? Where do I start with you guys? How do we talk about? I've seen a lot of reactions online from Joe Rogan, Joko Willing, Russell Brand. Everybody's made news about this. And the most common thing that came out of this is how wrong Will Smith was for his actions. And to be honest, I agree. Like that was a wrong reaction. You know, it's not something that I would expect from Will, but hey, who's Will to do things that I expect from him? The problem that I have with the whole thing is it could have been handled so much better. There's many ways you could have handled this situation. You know, the moment he walks on the stage and Chris Rock is like, "Oh, Richard," you know, like your point has been made. He could have just walked up and like, "Yo, man, that was foul," and walked away. There was no need to smack the brother because one, you're humiliating a guy on stage in front of the whole world, you know, and that's not fair. That's not fair because the man is literally there to make people laugh, to uplift the room, to uplift the world. You know, it's a massive audience. It's a moment. That's what the Oscars are for. You know, I remember. Forgive me if I pronounce his name wrong, but it's Ricky Gervais. Every time he holds these things, the fun part is the opening monologue where he's making jokes of everybody in the room. You know, like there, Chris Rock had made a joke of that guy was nominated with his wife, and he's like, "Oh, I hope you're praying you don't win if she doesn't win." You know. It goes on to him. We was laughing when he made the G.I. Jane joke, you know. And then I understand that Jada might have taken offense to it. Jada might have taken offense to the joke because, you know, it's making light of a very big situation. It's making light of a situation in which, you know, she might be sensitive about it. You know, I understand that she has, I believe it's called alopecia. This is where you have hair loss and then you have to cut your hair. You know, because that's how you handle the situation. I don't really know much about the disease, like most people are there, but I feel like this was the moment and an opportunity to educate the world on the situation that's going on, you know, to tell Chris Rock, "Oh, you're out of line with that joke because of A, B, C," and treat it as an educational moment, as a situation in which we all could learn. But the problem of what then happened is the talking point is the smack. You know, you smacked another man and you started screaming on top. Even after the smack, Chris Rock tried to salvage the situation and move on. And then the brother starts screaming, "Keep my wife's name off your mouth." And then it's like, oh, buddy. Now we're dealing with someone who has a bigger, deeper issue that we all do not know and understand. And in that sense, the man who stood up to stand up for his wife, who tried to be a strong brother, starts looking weak, which is a problem, which is a very big problem because, you know, this was a moment that overshadowed the whole event. Like It was Oscar weekend. This is supposed to be Oscar week. We should be talking about movies that wanted the Oscars. We should be talking about people that wanted the Oscars, people who were robbed. Like we always do every time that these things happen, we always speak about so-and-so was robbed. And guess what? This was the first time that the same brother, Will Smith, was winning an Oscar award, fam. Like this is his first time. How many times have we spoken about, oh, Will Smith deserved to win this? When he did Concussion, we're like, yo, he deserved to win the Oscar. And then the week he finally does, we don't talk about it. We make memes about him slapping a brother. We make, not memes only, the whole conversation is, was his actions alright? We're not even speaking about the condition that his wife has. We are now looking at the brother as a bully because you stood up, you went and smacked a smaller man, a brother who's a comedian whose job is to make jokes. You know, you signed up to be in the room, you know, and I get the apology comes, but it feels so insincere. It feels like it's a publicity stunt. Like, there is no winning in this case. I guess the best way for Will to handle this situation would just be to go quiet and say nothing for a minute and then come back when the whole news quiets down. Because listen, every time I make a video, there's a controversy happening in the world, and I can pretty much bet you in 2 weeks we'll be back with a different story. The thing is, though, if I was to speak to Will Smith in this moment, I'd say, man, I understand the crap that you've gone through, especially when it comes to your wife. People have been making jokes of your wife. I get it. You're a human being, you know, in as much as we see you as this celebrity, this guy who wrote this very beautiful book with the very beautiful messages in it. You are in a space now where you just blew up and couldn't take it anymore. And I understand that. But the problem is, the moment you blew up, my friend, was not the right moment. Like, it's just not the right moment, and it's just not the right action. You came out looking weird out of the whole situation because A, you smacked a brother that's so smaller than you. B, that walk around, man, that was stupid. That walk, like, you walked on stage, looked like a hero, like a man standing up for his wife, you know. Just go there, tell him that's not funny, man, and then walk back. Then you look like a man who just stood up for your wife. But the moment you smack Chris Rock in that walk of shame, you had to walk back looking like the big bad bully. And then to stay and accept your award and then cry, nobody really gives you sympathy no more, because a lot of us can relate to bullies, people silencing us for trying to do anything. Like, when you're trying to have fun, someone smacks you in the mouth. When you're trying to do this, someone silences you. And that's the energy that you projected. On the other hand, for Chris Rock, I know people are saying he should have defended himself, he should have done this, but I don't think in that moment he had a reason to. You know, this is Will fucking Smith walking towards you, man, on an Oscar night that he's going to win an Oscar award in front of millions and millions of people. You know, he had no reason to defend himself. And should he have been sensitive to the man's wife? Should he have been sensitive to the Smith situation? Maybe. Especially if they had the rehearsal and what had happened. The rehearsals was he told that's not a tasteful joke, don't do it. And he decided to do it. You know, I don't really know that situation and how that thing opened out. But from my perspective, the whole thing could have been handled differently. Chris Rock now knows not to talk about the Smiths. The Smiths now know that they cannot take a joke. The whole world understands that this is where we are at, and, you know, it's okay. You know, it's okay for everybody to feel how they feel. It's just a sad, sad moment in television history because a lot of people lost from that moment. You know, the ladies that were hosting, you know, they would have come up with jokes. Amy Schumer should be trending. Wanda Sykes should be trending. I'm forgetting the third person who was hosting should be trending. Tiffany Haddish should be trending. Everybody should be trending from this week, but all that has been taken away. Listen, there's a whole war going on in this moment. There's a global pandemic going on in this moment. And in the past week, all that has been quieted down thanks to Will Smith and Chris Rock. And it's not even Will Smith and Chris Rock. This is a whole Will Smith thing. But then we don't want the brother in the times would leave to harm himself and feel as if the world is against him. So we just say Will Smith and Chris Rock. But in this moment and in this situation, it's a time for healing. It's a time for understanding each other and giving each other that crutch, man, because people are going through it. People are going through the most in these days. And we just have to, you know, we have to pay attention to our environments and understand that a lot of times we're going to be offended. A lot of times things are not going to go our way. But that doesn't justify us standing up and going to punch another man in the mouth or slap another man in the mouth and then feeling as if I'm the man. Because if that's how you feel, if another man has to be on his knees for you to feel tall, then brother, you have a problem. And I pray for Will Smith, man. He's been through a lot, you know, at the hands of his wife, at the hands of his family. It cannot, you know, for the strongest of people, at some point your will break. And I guess for him, it came at the wrong time. But either way, this is a learning moment, and I hope he learns his lesson and the world learns their lesson, you know, of how far we can push a brother, how far we can push a person. But yeah, it's unfortunate what had to happen at the weekend. And my take on it is it was a wrong move. It's a wrong look, wrong move, wrong way to deal with somebody. Protect your wife, protect your loved ones, but understand, read the room, read the situation, you know, because you take away from a lot of people, whether intentionally or unintentionally. There's a quote that says the road to hell is filled with a lot of good intentions. The intentions might have been good, but the action is horrible, you know. And I pray that he forgives himself and he understands that this is a learning moment. This is a learning situation. And for everybody that's watching, people are like, oh, no, he justified violence. Nah, that's just a man who's been pushed and who's been going through a lot, who boiled down at the wrong moment and at the wrong time. And that's what happens a lot of times when you hold on and boil in a lot of anger. And yeah, I hope they learn a lesson out of this, educate people more on Appalachia. And you know, where I'm from, we say, well, people's wives will get you killed, man. So don't talk about it. But some things come with the territory, and it's all gonna be okay. With that said, I hope you guys are having a good time. Let me know what you thought of this Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. What's your take on it? For me, it's unfortunate, it's sad, but the world has to move on, man. We have a lot of issues and situations to deal with. And yeah, I just have to come in, give my take on it. Hope y'all guys are having a good time. Subscribe to the channel.